Hello guys, in this series of tutorial I'm going to explain you how to create an application as it is being done in real-time project. So I'm going to take you through steps one by one which we are going to develop as a part of this application. So what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to build an sales order application which is of type I'm going to build it as a master detail application, and I'm going to take you through the steps that are required for you to build this particular application as it is being done in real time. Now, one thing that we are going to do different than what we have done previously is that this time we are going to develop our application using this MVC architecture. So MVC architecture, it basically stands for your model, view and controller. For instance, your MVC architecture is something that looks like this. You'll be having your separate controller component, you'll be having your model component, and you'll be having your view component. So this MVC architecture is basically a pattern with which we are supposed to develop our application. So here we have this model which take care of generating your business data. Then we have our view component which takes care of displaying our data, and then we have this controller component which is going to handle the request between your model and view, and it takes care of your entire life cycle of your application. So in this way, when we are developing our application, the model individually generate the data without having any dependency with the view, and the view also display the data without any dependency with the model. So by loosely separating these two things differently, we can change the implementation part at the model end or at the view end without affecting the other one. So this is the general idea behind the MVC architecture. And this time when we are going to develop our application, we are going to do it according to this MVC architecture. So if you take one of the previous projects that we have done, what we would have generally done is that, for example, let's say I'm creating a project here, and I click on finish. So when I create a project with this wizard, what generally happens is that you can see that the index.html page is the starting page of our application, within which we are calling our view control, which means we are calling this view directly and we are displaying this view directly. So most people assume that this view to be the view part and this controller to be the controller part of your MVC architecture. But that doesn't seem to be the case, where these two things together represent one entity called as a view, which is a viewport. So now whenever we are going to develop our application, we have to develop it according to this MVC architecture, and to create this controller part, we need to create a component explicitly into our application. So in this step, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to develop a simple application with a component in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to develop my application. So I'm just going to give the name of my application as the sales order, and this time since I'm going to create it with the help of the component, I do not need this view option. So I'm just choosing this sap.m as a default library, and I click on finish. So now this would only generate me the index.html page, as we do not have our view created. So what I will do now is I'm going to create the component into my application. So in order to create the component, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a file called component.js. So there can be only one component within your application project, and SAP has given that we have to create the name of the component with the exact file name as component.js. So in this way you cannot create two files with same names, and there can be only one component into your application. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to create a component here. So to create this component, I'm just going to create a new file, and the name of the file is supposed to be component.js. So there are a couple of ways in which I can create the component. I can create it using this JavaScript mode of development, where I would be naming the file as component.js, or I can make use of this component creation in terms of JSON, where I can name the file as component.json and give everything in the JSON format. But in general, we usually create our component in the name component dot in the JavaScript mode of development, where I'm going to give the name of the component as component.js. So the file name should be exactly similar to this, where you have to name the file as component with C caps, and .js is going to be the extension. Now I have created a component here. Now I have to create the instance of the component. So for me to create the instance of the component, there is already a standard class which is available for the component. By inheriting from that particular class, I'm going to create my own component. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this component such as um, I- I'm going to make use of this module sap.ui.define to create my component, where this is going to take three different methods, where sorry, three different parameters, where the first parameter is going to be the name of the thing what we are going to create. So I'm just going to create a sales order component here. So I'm just going to give it as sales order dot component, where dot component is an extension. Then the second parameter is going to be the resources that we wanted to load into this application. Okay, so the second parameter is going to be the resources that I wanted to load. So in order to create this component, I need to create the instance of this component from the base class which is available. So the base class that is available for creating the component is sap.ui.core.ui component. So this is the base class for the component from which I'm going to inherit, and I'm going to create my own component. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to load this resource. But when I'm going to load this resource into this, I need to give the package path and not the programming path. Whereas whenever I say sap.ui.core.ui component, it basically means that SAP is a folder inside which I have this UI folder. Inside this I have this core folder, inside which I have this UI component folder within which the class is available. So when I mention it in the programming, I would be specifying the path as sap.ui.core.ui component. Whereas when I wanted to represent the web path, I would be representing it as SAP is a folder. Inside this folder, we have this UI folder. Inside this, we have this core folder. Inside this, we have this UI component folder. So this is how I'm going to represent it in a programming as a web path. So you can see that information over here, where in the API reference you can see that sap.ui.core.ui component is the class. So this is the path which I wanted to use in order to load the resources, whereas this would be my programming path and this is going to be my module path or web path, where I'm basically representing the path to the folder. So I'm just going to copy this, and this is the resource which I wanted to load. So I have loaded this resource, and this resource will be imported into this function using this callback function, where I'm going to import it with the name UI component. So I have imported this application, imported this UI component class into my application using this importing parameter UI component. Now from this UI component, I'm going to inherit and I'm going to create my own instance. So to create the component instance, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say it like UI component dot extend is the keyword which I use to inherit and create it, and it takes two parameters. One is what is that I'm creating by inheriting, and the other one is the object block. So I'm creating the component here as sales order dot component, which is what I'm creating by inheriting. And then what is the code block? So inside this code block, whatever the things that I wanted to overwrite from the basic class, I'm just going to overwrite those things over here. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to redefine this method called as a create content function of your component, where I'm just going to uh, specify this method over here to indicate that I am overwriting this particular method here. So inside this method, I'm just going to define whatever is the content that I wanted to be displayed as a part of this component. So uh, for now, I'm just going to create a button control, and I'm going to display that button control as a part of this component. So I'm just going to create an instance of button control as variable o button is equal to new sap.m.button, and for this I'm giving the text property as display. So I have just created a simple button control, and I'm returning the instance of the button control as a layout of this particular component. So what I have done over here is that I have created the component instance. So I'll also have to return this component instance. So instead of taking it in a separate variable and then returning it later, I'm just going to directly write the return statement over here, where this execute this statement, create the component instance and return the component instance. So whenever this component.js file has been executed, it is going to create the instance of this, and it is going to return the button control as a part of this one. So what this path basically is going to mean is that here you could see that inside the web content folder I have this component.js. So whenever we represent the path, we represent the path without the file extension. So this basically means that I'm registering this web content folder as a sales order. Inside this I have this component.js file. So that is a package path which I'm specifying as sales order, which is now going to be the web content folder, and inside that I have this component folder. I have this component file. So here you could see that inside the sales order I have this component.js file. So that is what I am representing over here. Then I'm going to go back to my index page, from where I'm going to trigger the component. So trigger this component, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to do it when the component is going to be initialized. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get the core reference as sap.ui.getCore. This will give me the reference of the core, which has this init function which will get instantiated. So I'm going to attach an event handler to it, where I'm going to say attach init, and I'm going to give an event handler to this, within which I'm going to instantiate my component. So first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to instantiate my component. Variable o component is equal to new sap.ui.core. Component container is a class with which I'm going to inherit my with which I'm going to instantiate my component, where it has this attribute called name, where I'm going to provide the name of the component as sales order. So what this basically means is that it is going to point to this web content folder. Inside this it is going to take this component.js file and it is going to instantiate that. Then I'm going to place this component inside a shell element, where I'm going to say it as variable o shell is equal to new sap.m.shell, where I'm going to use this property called app, to which I'm going to give the component instance, and I'm going to place this shell at the content region. So I have created my component over here, instantiated it, placed it inside the shell, and I have placed this shell as an output. Right. So I have done this. Now what I will do is I will go ahead and execute my application. So I'll just right click on my project, run as web app preview. Okay, so this error is expected, where it says that system was not able to find this file called sales order slash component.js. Like I indicated, the sales order is the web content folder, inside which we have this component.js file. Now the system was not able to identify it because I haven't actually told the system that the web content folder is the sales order folder. So to indicate that, if you take one of the previous examples that we have done, here we would be writing a statement like sap.ui.local resources, where I'll be telling the system that this is the location where you have to look for the files that I have generated. But whereas in real time, we make use of this bootstrap parameter, with which I'm going to indicate that this is the root location. So to specify that, I'm going to I'm going to indicate the path as data hyphen sap hyphen ui hyphen resource roots is equal to since I'm going to pass a multiple path, I'm going to pass it as an object, where whenever it is an object I'll pass it inside a single quotes. And here I'm going to specify the package path as whenever you are going to look for something called as a sales order, it's nothing but the root location itself, which means I'm registering that the sales order is nothing but my web content folder itself. Now when the system wanted this file sales order slash component.js, now it knows that the web content folder is the sales order, and inside this it will be able to pick this component.js file. So I'll just put a debugger here. So now if I reload this application, you could see that it has came inside the component file, inside the create content function, where I'm just returning this button control as a part of this component. So here you could see that my shell has been displayed, within which I can see this button control getting displayed from the component. So what we have done now is we have just created a simple uh, we have just created a simple component, and inside that component we have just created some content and we have displayed it. But what we generally do in real time is that inside the component we will be placing a root view which will act like a window, and within that root view we are going to place multiple content from multiple views, and we are going to navigate among them. So in the next session I will just extend this application further, and um, we will create our root view as well as we will be creating our we will also look into the um, some more stuffs as well. Okay, thank you.